Welcome, you want to watch US American Netflix in France? Then you found the right video. I'm going to show you how you can do this, and obviously you probably already know the benefits of doing that because there are almost 3 times more movies in the US Netflix and 3.4 times more TV shows. Although there are several TV shows, like European TV shows and French TV shows, that might not be in the US American Netflix version, but that's not why you watch this video. So the easiest way I can tell you, just a quick version, is you go below this video and there you find a list with VPNs. You can just click on show more, or if you're on a mobile or tablet, then there will be below on the right of the video, there will be some icon and you can click on it to see the full description. I'm personally using ExpressVPN, but I'm going to talk about this, and probably you're wondering about free versions, so I will show you and talk about this too. So what happens if you're in France and you try to go to netflix.com? Let's see. And you probably already experienced this. So here I have the French country version, and at the moment I set it to English. By the way, here at the bottom on the left, you can just change the language. So in theory, if you think there's enough on the French Netflix, you can just change it to English if you don't speak French, and then you can just use the English version of the French Netflix. But of course, you can try to delete this and try to get to the US version, but it always redirects you automatically, right? Because if I check my IP, there are many services that show your IP. They're not super reliable, but usually they show the right place. So here you can see I'm in France. That's why I get the French Netflix. And it does not really matter where you got your Netflix account. If you have a US American Netflix and you're in France, you get the French Netflix. So if you have an American account, great, you can get the US Netflix. If you have a French Netflix account and you want to watch stuff on the US Netflix, you can do that. And actually it does not really matter where you got your Netflix account. You can watch any country Netflix with this solution. One question that comes up, does it work on my whatever device? And yes, you can see here the list. It works on Windows systems, Apple systems, iOS, Android, on your phone, on your tablet, on your game console, on your router, whatever you want to call it. This solution works. And I'm just going to show you. Here I have the software from ExpressVPN, and I just showed you, yes, it's available for all devices. Here you can choose location, and then you can, usually you have the recommended ones, and then you can go to all locations, Americas, and then yes, you could click here on United States, but then you just use the USA New York location for this VPN. And I'm talking about VPNs a little bit later because you're probably not even interested in how the technology works, but it works, it's a service, and I can log into many different countries in many different locations. So many people just use this because they just click on the USA on the page before. But as you can see, in the US, there are many different server locations. And if one does not work, maybe there's a problem with the server, who knows, can happen, then just click another one. And I personally lately use the Tampa one mostly. And so now it's connecting. You see, it's connecting. And now I'm connected. So by the way, also now my internet is completely encrypted, so no one can see what I'm doing. So my internet service provider cannot see what I'm doing. Also many other places cannot see what I'm exactly doing. That's a big benefit too. So now I do not even delete this part here in the address bar. I'm just going to reload. And now you can see, now I'm at the netflix.com page. So now I can use the US American Netflix, and let's sign in. So here I have the sign up page, and here you can see Netflix is advertising a new Netflix Originals TV show, Lock and Key, but I can also choose all kind of other stuff here. So yeah, now I can watch all US American Netflix stuff. Well, here Avengers will not be available for long in the US because I think it's going to Disney Plus, but here you can watch all the American stuff. As I mentioned before, below you find a list with good VPNs, which you can use to watch US Netflix and any other country Netflix, because even in the US they don't have all the movies, but I'm going to talk about this now. So compared to France, for example, there are almost 3 times more movies in the US Netflix version as in France, and talking about TV shows, there are more than 3.4 times more TV shows in the US Netflix version compared to France. But it could be that there's some stuff in France, in the French Netflix. I think, for example, Harry Potter is not available in the US version, but in some European versions, but I'm not sure if it's in France. Anyway, but so sometimes it can be useful to check foreign Netflix versions, but I also would recommend, if you switch, you should always sign out and then clear your browsing history so Netflix doesn't get too suspicious. And they will send you an email every time you sign in from some strange place. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Depending on the country, you have different content. The TV show Friends is not available in the US anymore, but it is still available in Canada and some other countries, I think. So if you're a Friends fan, and even if you're in the US, maybe you want to use a different country Netflix. With the VPN, as I showed you here, you can choose any country. I'm going back here. So you can choose Asia, you can choose Europe, you can choose America, you can choose the Middle East or Africa. Who knows, maybe you want to watch something in South Africa. And this does not only work with Netflix, of course this also works with other services such as HBO, Pandora Radio, TV stations, and so on. You can choose any location. Maybe there is something in the UK you want to watch, then you can do that. Okay, this is the fast explanation. And basically, the problem is websites see a lot about you, and specifically they see your location where you enter the internet through your IP address. And that's the problem, how Netflix can see that you're not in the US if you're in France, and then they show you only the French content. And they show you the French content because media CEOs still buy and sell rights by country. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, yes, it's the easiest version, so they don't have to think much. And it's in the old days with, DVDs and stuff. It kind of made sense because you can sell the DVDs by country. But overall, nowadays, in the 21st century, it does not really make so much sense. They really should find a different solution. But instead, they're actually starting new streaming services like Disney Plus and whatever. I think Apple also starts a service, and then it will be even more difficult to watch all your favorite shows because then you have to sign up for all different streaming services, and this will be quite expensive. Basically, a VPN, I see it as a global internet service provider because you can choose where you enter the internet and thus circumvent geo-blocking. But the main advantage of a VPN is actually the privacy service, because you might not know, but your router can save your browsing history, your internet service provider can save your browsing history. Public and hotel Wi-Fis are not always safe, and they can also track what you're doing on the internet if they want to. Your company, even if you use your private phone to use the Wi-Fi, they can check what you did on the internet. Mobile cell towers can be hacked or are built by the Chinese Communist Party. And there's quite some talk about this right now in the news, that the US don't want Chinese companies building mobile cell towers for 5G. Then, of course, hackers are dangerous, and governments also try to check your data sometimes. But with a VPN, your internet connection is completely encrypted, so all those places cannot see what you're doing. But for most people, it's more important that you can unblock the internet, use any country internet you like. There's no geo-blocking. You can use all kinds of TV channels in different countries, even when you're abroad. One quick warning about VPNs I want to tell you about is, of course, it could be that they slow down your internet, but with good VPNs you should not notice. But of course, if you use shitty VPNs, then yes, it can slow down your internet. And of course, because you're anonymous and you're suddenly entering the internet from a different country, you will get security alerts from Google and other services. Also, Netflix will send you an email saying like, hey, someone from Florida logged into your account, just to inform you. Critical security alert sounds super dangerous, but you saw I was logged into France before, and here I got the info, someone from France tried to log into your Google account. Then you just have to remember, yes, you used the VPN to use the French internet, and you can say, yes, it was me, no worries. This is one thing that kind of scared me the first time I used a VPN, but if you think through it, it's logical that they send this info. And by the way, when you're logged in with the VPN, you could check your IP with any service on the internet, and then you can see if it matches with the IP address Google tells you, and it should be the same. One quick warning about free VPNs. I understand I also like free stuff, so you probably want to have something for free, but please just Google dangers of free VPNs, and there are a lot of dangers. And yes, there are a few free VPNs that kind of are not dangerous, but they are not useful either. So basically they're just advertising. So they let you install their software and then they pump you with advertising that you should buy the premium service. So I prefer companies like ExpressVPN, because they don't do this kind of shady stuff. I mean, you can buy it. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee. They have a great service. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee if it doesn't work. So basically, it's kind of for free if you decide you do not need it or you're not satisfied. Paid VPN providers have a lot of advantages. It's fast, it's easy to use, software works great, and so on and so on. You can use 5 connections at the same time. I would recommend using a good VPN. That's what I'm doing. You saw I'm using ExpressVPN to log into the US to watch US Netflix. And below you find some others with different prices. But I personally just use ExpressVPN. I tried several others, but this is my favorite. So that's what I'm recommending. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I hope now you understand how you can watch US American Netflix in France or any other French country or any other country at all. So I hope you enjoy it.